All right, what's going on, guys? It's Brad Hannon here with the Daily Debrief. Listen, I want to talk to you about a question I was asked on Facebook today. It's not so much a daily debrief, but this is, every day just something from my day that I want to highlight, and I get to choose. So I'm going to choose the probably the most relevant part of my day to helping agents, grow and improve their business. Matt McMitchin, I probably screwed that name up. Matthew McMitchin, shared a post in Medicare Monsters. If you're not part of the group, great group. Justin Brock, shout out, buddy. Love the group. Basically saying, hey, don't take advice from people that haven't actually grown a business. The industry's full of people that want to give you advice on how to grow your business, but they've never actually done it themselves. Actually, he says, don't take advice from folks that have never sold a policy. So I had responded to that over the weekend and said, listen, this goes beyond selling a policy. Because you're talking about growing a business, right? You're not talking about selling a policy. There's a lot of people that can sell a policy that can't grow a business. This goes beyond selling a policy. That's literally the tip of the iceberg. This is my comment. I sold, so many people are leaders flying the flag of I sold X amount of policies, therefore come work with me. But that doesn't mean they can train. That doesn't mean they can market. That doesn't mean they can duplicate themselves and scale a business. And so I said it only gets harder and harder and more difficult the deeper you go. Don't be one of the many that believe just because you can sell a policy or recruit, you've reached the apex of what the industry has to offer, right? What I want to talk about, and then Matt responded with a great question that I want to try to unpack in a debrief in a very brief video. But he asked the question, what is a real business? Like what would a real business be considered? And I thought about that question for a little bit today, and I'm giving my personal definition, but I believe that a business, right, like a real business has to be, you have to be able to place a value on it. Therefore, my truck, okay? I own my truck, okay? The bank owns part of my truck, I own my truck, whatever. If the bank, let's say the bank owned my truck outright, like they owned, I had negative equity in my truck. If somebody bought my truck, they could buy my truck, but I would literally have to give that money to the bank anyway. So it's not like I can really sell it. So you have to, in order to, really look at this like a real business, right? You have to be building something of value, right? That somebody can acquire. So that would be one of my first definitions of a business. The second thing would be more than likely you need employees. In the answer to that comment, I said, you need employees. I understand many solopreneurs, right, are running maybe an e-commerce business or something that even insurance, right? You're selling, you're handling your customer service, but as you grow, as you scale, you would need at least one employee, right? A VA, 2 employees. As you grow and as you scale, if you're serving more and more customers and those customers are staying customers, it's going to eventually grow past the point where you can't handle it by yourself, okay? So again, same thing, agents flying the flag of I sold this many policies so I can build a business. I'm guilty of this, right? That's why I'm sharing this message. Like everything I talk about, it's based out of experience. I'm guilty of this too, of believing that because I can sell, because I can recruit, and then take it a step further, because I can train agents on how to do those things, I can run a business, right? There are many things in the business, right, that I'm running that I'm not good at that are very, very important to the success of the business, right? Managing money, marketing, managing people, payroll expenses, all of these things, right, are very important pieces to the puzzle that you've got to be good at as well, not just selling, not just recruiting. And so I say all this, hopefully you've watched to this point in the video, because there are some of you that maybe are working in a call center and you're watching this, or maybe you're an independent agent, or maybe, a captive agent, right? Or an agent that is independent but LOA, meaning your business isn't fully owned by you. And I want you to know that that's okay. I've been through all of those scenarios. And that's why I can stand here before you today and say, hey, listen, I've done this. and I did it well. And at the time that I thought that I couldn't get any better, right? And that my head was this big, my ego was so inflated, that I learned that there was more to learn, right? And then I learned those things. And again, boom, like not literally, my ego wasn't literally that inflated, but like you think, okay, now I've learned even more. I've really learned a lot of what there is to learn. And then boom, you learn even more. So wherever you're at, there's growth to be had. I had lunch with an agent last week, and I was telling her, you've got to max out your potential where you're at. You've got to max out your potential where you're at, and then start looking at something else. And that's okay. It's okay to look elsewhere. It's okay to, be forward looking when it comes to opportunity, but it's not okay if you've not maxed it out where you're currently at. That would be like being unhappily married and go looking elsewhere to find your happiness. It doesn't work like that, right? If you've got to work on it in your current situation, your current opportunity to maximize what you've already got, right? To be given more. And so just a little words of encouragement for you today. Also a little bit of, what I think would be advice that I wish I heard 3 years ago on, hey, don't just build a good career in sales. Don't just build a good team of sales agents. Build a real business of value, right? That has a market value, that can have, different departments, right? Can provide jobs to employees, right? A real living, breathing organism, right, is the way that I look at my business. A real business requires those things, and it's not just selling and recruiting agents.